All right, Joey.
All right, Mark.
We've got episode 74 in the books.
Yes, we do. And we're doing another announcement this week.
Yes.
You want to talk to us about it?
Okay. For the third time in a row, we are announcing that you have to declare your home vacant or occupied in 2024. And in this episode, we're getting into the nitty gritty details.
Yes. We're talking about vacant home taxes. We're talking about who needs to declare it. We're talking about what if you're in the middle of a purchase, what you need to be thinking about.
Yep.
Just everything about it.
Everything about it. This is the all-inclusive, all expenses paid for trip to the vacant home tax portal.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. So if you own property in Toronto, listen up.
Love it.
All right. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Toronto Livings Podcast, a conversation about all things Toronto with a focus on real estate, the culture, and of course, the food.
I'm Mark Savel.
And I'm Joey Virgilio.
And we're realtors with Sage Real Estate working together as a Toronto Livings team with a focus on helping you buy better, sell higher, and of course, having a little bit of fun along the way. Hello, Joey.
Mr. Marr.
How are ya?
I'm good. We're back, so I'm good.
We are back. We took a 1 week hiatus.
We took a 1 week hiatus.
Yeah, we needed this.
Some big stuff was happening, so we figured, let's take a breather.
Did we?
Yeah.
I was just tired. This market's making me tired. But we're back for episode 74.
Yeah.
Yes. And if this sounds like Groundhog Day to you, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be talking about the
vacant home tax.
We're bringing it back.
That's right. We need a banner. That's going to be our back banner.
Vacant home tax remix. Yes, this was a definite hot topic last year, and sadly, it's another hot topic this year.
Yeah, my spidey senses tell me it'll be another hot topic next.
Yeah. Do we go 3 in a row, triple header?
I don't know. Yeah,
we should be in the 100s next year.
We should. That's right. Yeah, we should be.
Episode 105, the vacant home tax remix.
What a good ring. I like that ring.
We're going to talk about everything that you need to know for this year because there are some pretty big changes that happen.
Yeah, some pretty intense changes.
Intense, yeah. Almost like 3 times the intensity. Adriana S. was not happy with how many booms it dropped in that market update.
They have been taking over my Instagram since that moment. I've been sending them to everybody also.
So the Rizzler's taking over mine. The AJ and Big Justice are kind of fading out, but the Rizzler's heavy. Yeah. But there won't be much booms in this one. We won't bring the boom in this one.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll try to limit the boom. But we might also talk about the danger zone.
Yes.
Danger zone might be coming up in this episode.
There is some danger zone
that
we're going to warn you about.
Yes. Danger zone warning. Before we get into that, Joey, how was your last 2 weeks? And tell me everywhere you ate. Or limit it to one, whatever you want.
I'm going to limit it to one.
Okay.
Yeah. But because listen, I got a new stainless steel pan. Okay.
Ooh.
And it is Kirkland brand. So I have been cooking like a madman. And my mission has been to make eggs on a stainless steel pan.
Mission successful?
Mission accomplished.
All right.
Yes, for those that don't know, you got to heat the pan up dry, sprinkle the water, let it turn into a bead, and then add your oil.
That's the secret sauce.
That's the secret sauce.
Okay.
Yeah, just so you know. But my food outing story is because I tried something that's like a hot spot in the city that I kept looking at and being like, I should stop there. And me and Molly C eventually went down to Burger Drops.
Okay.
Have you been?
No.
Okay.
It's come up in conversation quite a few times with people, so please.
Yes, it is. It is a hot. One of the big burger places that people mention as like their favorites. I will say it's a good burger.
Okay.
It's a very good burger. So it's a smash patty.
Okay.
I'm gonna say what I'll say is I ordered wrong.
Okay, fair.
And here's why. It's a smash patty and it's very smashed. But it was $8.50 for that burger. So that bumps it up for me in terms of value. In terms of value.
So top 3? Top 5?
I would say I'll give it a top 5.
Top 5?
Yeah,
okay.
I'll give it a top 5. But you need to order the double patty, which brings it over the $10 mark, which now docks at a point for me.
I feel like there should be like the secret Joey menu, which is just double whatever's on. Yeah. Like, can I get the Joey special? Oh, you want a double with a side of pancakes and eggs? Coming right up. Talk to me about the bread.
It would be your favorite.
Okay.
Because you can mold it into whatever you want.
That brioche.
Yes. Yeah.
Love it.
Bread was amazing. So there's 2 types of burgers that they run. It's either the American or their original. And their original is more, so the way the lady described it around the counter, I was like, I feel like I'm going to like the American more. The American is brighter. It's got like more vinegary type stuff in it, like regular lettuce, tomato, all that good stuff. But the OG has grilled onions. It's more of a savory flavor all over the place. I went American because I thought I would like it. Molly went original because she thought she would like it more. And we both took a bite of each other's burgers and we were like, oh, we ordered wrong.
Where's it located?
So it's in Liberty Village, and it's located 116 Atlantic Avenue.
Okay.
And I wrote down it was grilled sweet onion, American cheese, pickles, their special drop sauce, and a toasted potato roll is what I guess they call their bun.
The bun's called, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, sounds like pretty good value.
For $8.50, I'm sold for it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty decent. Yeah. And that's near your other burger joint, a Let It Go.
A Let It Go. Yeah, when I found the original Let It Go.
Also known as Alouette.
I don't think I've called it Alouette ever. Even
in our household, it is a Let It Go burger. It's the Joey Special Let It Go burger.
Tell me, because burger drops is one thing, but you went on a very special trip.
I did. Well, I mean, speaking of America and American style burgers, I went to America. I love how it just tied together so perfectly there. Our good friend Alex, from the Hello Raptors podcast, sent me a very random message middle of the week, and he's like, "Yo, Kansas City's playing Buffalo. You want to go?" Because, and this 2024 has felt like an incredibly long year for us, for me at least. We went in February and we watched the Kansas City Chiefs not really destroy, but defeat the Buffalo Bills. And it was a very hard defeat.
That was this February?
That was, right?
Yeah. No, it has felt like a long year.
I thought that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So oddly enough, my most visited place of 2024 outside of Canada, or like the most visited country I've been to, was Buffalo in America, which is a fact all on its own that I'm amazed by. Because I went back with my wife and the mother-in-law to try the wing spot.
Right. So you've been 3 times so far this year?
3 times I've been to Buffalo, which is really odd and not what I expected when I started 2024. But no regrets. So we went to go watch the game last Sunday, and we had to stop off at Barbell North. That is the wing spot of America. I'm calling it right now. Amherst, Buffalo. It is such an interesting place. Because we went in the dead of winter last time, and it was just after a major snowstorm, so we didn't really see much of Buffalo because it's under a white cloud. But what was most odd is, like, from the border to the wing place, there's nobody on the streets. Right. We saw one single lonely person on the streets. Everybody was at Highmark Stadium for the Bills game.
So funny.
Like, the entire Buffalo population is there.
I love how dedicated they are. That's
insane.
It makes me so happy.
We made great time getting past the border, and we got to the wing place about half an hour before it opened. Already a lineup.
Yeah.
Crazy lineup. So we got in, we had our wings. This place, Barbell North, like, please try it. Like, I know Anchor Bar gets a lot of the hype when you go to Buffalo. It's good, but this is great. This is fantastic. The blue cheese, as I mentioned before, just like nothing you've ever tried before.
Yep.
They have Cajun honey butter as kind of their signature wing. Pro tip about Buffalo, level up on your sauces.
Okay.
Medium is very hot. Very hot is infernal. Infernal, you don't make it back alive from. I had the medium, and it was like sweating beads. And she's like, "Oh, you must be a new kind." I'm like, "I've been here 3 times." So yeah, be careful when you get your wings. Like, level down if you're not a fan of the heat. Like, just ask for no heat, and you'll still be a little bit spicy.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. So we did that. We went to the stadium. It was incredible. The energy is fantastic. And like, the tailgates get a lot of attention because they're wild.
Yeah.
But it's, I feel like they get a bad rap. Like, a lot of people think it's like a trashy experience. It's actually pretty elevated. Like,
yeah,
we saw tomahawk steaks being cooked. We saw lobster.
Oh my God.
Oh, they do it proper. It's not, I think, what people think it is. It's actually like pretty intense what they do.
I love the fact that they're making a thing out of it, like a thing out of it.
From 6 a.m.
They're prepping tomahawks for it.
Tomahawks. Like, the game was at 4. We were at a vintage store. Alex wanted to pick up some clothing, and the guy's like, "Oh, you better get through now." Like, I was there at 5 in the morning, and it was already getting busy. So it's quite the experience. I'm all about it. I think the bad rap is, like, once the food's done, they tend to jump through the tables, a la Mick Foley style, like off the top ropes. So I get where the roughness comes from, but just an incredible experience. We went into the stadium. They had like Black Hawk helicopters coming in for the anthem. Like, it was so American.
So I love it.
Yeah. And the Bills won.
And they won.
Let's go Buffalo. Bills won. It was fantastic. It was the first loss of Kansas City for the year.
Right.
So Bills Mafia came out in full effect.
So funny.
Oh, we have to go next year.
I feel like if they lost, it would have been like, are there riots in the street if they lose? Because like you got a lot of drinking, you got lobster. This combination is.
I'm going to say yes because they won and they still were fighting each other. I'm like, guys, you won. And the vulgarities that came out of it was just. I'm going to share something that happened that was quite intense, and I'm sharing this because I was so mind blown by the level of creativity that went into this. And this might be bad for the podcast, but I mean, I need to share this story.
Okay.
Two ladies sat next to us, and they clearly were well inebriated before entering the stadium. Like they were partying all day. Very polite, very great conversation we had with them. And second quarter, they pull out 3 feminine products. And I'm talking about essentially tampons.
Yeah.
And like, sure, whatever. It's what it is. And she hands me one. She says, "You want one?" I'm like, "Pardon me, miss?" Not knowing what was going on here. So she rips it open with her mouth, the packaging of the feminine product, the tampon essentially, and they smuggled booze in.
Into the tampon.
In a tampon wrapper. And inside was a like a beacon, like what's, when science.
Like a beaker?
Beaker, yeah. Full of whiskey. And when I tell this story, people are like, "Oh, like, could you not buy booze at the stadium?" No, you could.
Yeah.
You totally could. And it's a thing. I looked it up on Amazon. You can buy these.
Oh, they're specially made.
Yep. You can buy them on Amazon.
Good on her.
So Buffalo, man, never ceases to amaze you. And just to wrap up food places, we went to this place called La Nova after the Bills game.
Okay.
Because it's quite the trek. Like you burn a lot of calories cheering for the Bills. La Nova Pizza. It is like 2 minutes from the border.
Okay.
So you should definitely check it out, whether you're landing or coming home type thing. This place is an institution.
Okay.
It's like your quintessential Italian American pizza parlor.
Okay.
There's pictures on the wall of all the celebrities.
Was this the enormous slice that I saw that was like it painfully big?
Painfully thick.
Thick. Oh, okay.
The big one you saw was probably what I ate in in Kensington Market.
Okay.
With my sister. That was huge. Yeah.
Yes,
and also,
right.
we'll talk about that in another episode. This one was thick, buffalo style pizza. So it's a little floppy jalopy. It doesn't have the crisp undercarriage. You're talking about 2 inches of dough and cheese, and then the little pepperonis that kind of are like cups that keep all the oil on top. Oh my God, was it ever good?
Was it good? Yeah.
Yep. The crust had sesame seed on the back, and of course,
God bless people who put sesame seed on pizza.
Sesame seed, and you dip it in blue cheese.
Okay.
Fantastic. I got wings again. Ordered it wrong. Should have leveled up or leveled down. Like non-spice was spicy. Yeah. But it was one for the ages.
Love it. Yeah. I can feel myself falling asleep when you described that.
Oh,
that
so
pizza
good.
Afterwards.
So good. Oddly enough, fueled me for the ride home. I was like,
well, there you go.
dialed in. Yeah, I feel like I was on keto, like all that cheese. Like, yeah, it was established in 1957. They're actually the sponsors of Buffalo Bills, so you could buy their pizza in the stadium.
Oh, nice.
But we went to the OG location to try it legit, and it delivered on all levels.
Love it.
Yeah, La Nova Pizza, fantastic.
La Nova Pizza.
Yeah. And then we came home. that was the peak of my week. But God bless Buffalo. People are fantastic. Heart of gold. Everybody is so accommodating. Amazing. Especially when you're tailgating. Everybody's trying to, hey, come on out, have a drink.
I love that atmosphere.
Yeah. Really good. So yeah, that was it.
Love it.
You've been busy. What you got going on business wise?
Yeah, we got listings up right now. Okay. More soon to come, but as of right now, we got two lease listings up.
Love it.
So the first I'm going to mention is 629 King Street. This is it's a junior 1-bed, but a proper separated bedroom.
Nice.
It's a really nice layout, and it's like 629 King is right at King and Bathurst, so you're surrounded by like everything good. Yeah, you got like. I mean, right on the strip, right downstairs, there's a Starbucks on one side, so you got your coffee right there. You have Oretta. I don't know if they just opened up or how long ago.
They've been around for a couple years.
They have, right? Yeah. Oretta's opened up downstairs. You're like a short walk to the Waterworks Food Hall, which I'm pointing everything food out.
Yeah, no, that's what we're about here.
And the well is like 2 seconds away. You're seriously in the thick of it, and it's a great unit, great spot. It's on the 8th floor, so you're kind of like right in the middle of the building, and faces out towards King Street. So you're not blocked with view, and it's a really really nice modern spot.
And that's $2,150.
Up for $2,150 currently.
Sounds good. Nice and affordable.
Second one we got up is 59 East Liberty Street, which which just got listed.
Yes.
Unit 210.
Yes.
Whole elbow room, 1 bedroom. People who have been looking for 1 bedrooms, who hate bowling alley layouts and the kitchens that are just lined up against the wall.
This is not
that. This is yes. You walk in, you have a proper good size cabinetry, good size kitchen.
Yep.
Large peninsula stone countertops, and the creme de la creme is the living room and dining area, which is just like, it's got so much width for you.
Yep.
You can do home office on one side, couch and living space on the other, and a separated bedroom with bathroom as well. But it's up for currently $2,500, and it's in Liberty Village. So everything is walkable. In Liberty.
Got it all there.
Yeah.
All the Metro, Balzac's.
Yeah.
TD Bank.
Nodo, Liberty.
Nodo, Liberty. Yeah. Shout out Nodo.
Shout out Nodo, which fantastic octopus.
Oh,
yeah. Shout out Nodo Octopus.
So I helped this client of ours. We've mentioned her in previous episodes, but we're not going to do it now because it's very close to doxing a person, which we don't do on this show. But you know who you are. And she sent me the best text message. So I think 2015, 2016, I sold her this place. And you helped her now on the flip side of it. And she listened to the Price is Right podcast, the episode we're talking about Price is Right. And she's like, was Joey never sick?
Yeah.
How does Joey not know about Price is Right?
I got so much flack for this moment. I looked up Price is Right, and I was looking up the games on Price is Right because I was like, for me, Price is Right was always the moment when everybody's in a line and they're guessing the first round of pricing.
Yeah.
And then the wheel. Like, those are the only two things that I remember. Everything else is just a full A's. And I got so much flack for not knowing the games and having a favorite.
Yeah. JP at the office was like, how do you not? And this client of ours, I almost said her name. This client of ours was like, I thought it was so perfect. Like, was he never sick? And that was like the quintessential, you're sick, stay at home TV show that you'd watch. My nonna would watch it. Like, it was just the thing. So love it. Really happy for you guys. And it is truly a wonderful layout. I remember when we saw it, we didn't see very many places. And I was like, oh, this layout doesn't come up often.
Yes.
And it served her quite well. And we're ready to pass it on to have someone else rent it out. And you're going to have a great landlord. So
love it.
Yeah. 59 East Liberty. Did we say the price?
$2,500.
$2,500. Great value, lots of space, and on a low floor, so you don't have to worry about elevators breaking down either.
No, you're good with stairs. Don't worry about nothing elevator-wise.
Love it. All right. Well, I think we got all of our heebie-jeebies out of us.
Yep.
Covered all the bases. Let's get into the Toronto Vacant Home Tax 2024-2025 edition.
Here we go.
Yes.
There's some changes.
There
are some. Okay, should we take it from the beginning?
Go back in time, hop in the time machine.
Let's get in the time machine.
Oh, we haven't done any sound effects in this episode. So it's 2022. We're in the thick of COVID. We've got masks on.
Yeah.
John Tory hasn't had a haircut in like 9 months. Apparently, he's also having an affair that no one knows about at this point.
Yeah. We're in that moment.
With that hair, you're like, who would want to? But hey, who are we to judge, right? It's 2022. And there's a problem in the city. And the problem is that we have a massive rental crisis. There's not enough homes for people to rent. And there's rumors of all these vacant properties sitting across the city. So John Tory and City Council says, you know what? We need to do something about this.
Yeah.
We're going to introduce what we're going to call the Vacant Home Tax. Mm-hmm. And if you decide to leave your home vacant, you're going to pay us. Because it's COVID and we want to get paid. So council comes together, they agree that this is a good idea, and they roll it out, and they have a massive media campaign, and they're doing all these things to let us know that it's essential you let the city know if your house is vacant or not.
Yep.
And if you forget about it, you know what? It's COVID. I got very bad hair. We're going to forgive you. We're not going to be so hard on you. I'm in an affair. Like, life is good. Like, don't worry about it. So year one rolls out relatively smooth.
Yeah.
It's like people kind of do it. Some people forget, and it's a wash. Nobody's really
paying attention.
Impacted.
Yep.
Yeah. So he steps down for reasons stated earlier. And we get a new mayor. We get Mayor Chow.
Yep. So
now it's 2023. We're not really wearing COVID masks anymore. We get haircuts. life is kind of back to normal, I would say. We started a podcast. I got married. Like, life is good. It's 2023. I think I got married in 2022 though, but who's counting?
Who's counting? It was the end of it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But nonetheless, I'm married at this point. We're working together. We got a podcast. We have a new mayor. And believe it or not, the vacant home tax is still here.
It is.
And it's, spoiler alert, never going away. It's going to be a reoccurring thing every year. And this is a theme we're going to start referencing in this episode. And so you and I get wind of it, and like I'm like, yo, Joey, they're not really like notifying people. Should we start talking about it? Yeah. And you're like, fantastic idea. Let's sing it from the mountains and tell as many people as we know that they have to declare the home vacant tax. So we're reaching out to family members, extended cousins, and strangers, and 100%. Lovers, and all these fun things, and telling them like, you need to do this tax. But not many other people are doing that.
No.
And 160,000 residents of Toronto get dinged with the vacant home tax.
Yeah, yeah. Not many people are doing it, and nor the actual people who put it into place. We're also not talking about it at this point.
Correct. There was very little media attention. I think like 2 days before, there was like a small segment on CP24, and it was like, there was a couple bus ads here and there, but there wasn't a mass media attention as there was in the first year of the rollout.
Yeah.
So a lot of people get affected by it.
Yeah, and hence the big I guess, yeah, the big fallout, the big. It was rolled out terribly, and so many problems.
Yeah, and this is part of it. Is like, even of that 160,000 people that got dinged for it, a lot of them did fill it out.
Yeah,
and there was glitches with the system. There was problems at the city. People got fired internally. People lost their jobs over this.
So is that a thing?
That's a thing.
Okay, I didn't know this.
Yeah. People got fired over it. This is public knowledge. This is not like internal files that I dug up. It's public knowledge.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Breaking news. The Mark and Joey channel. Yeah, so it was a big problem. And so they got together this year and they're like, we're not going to repeat that same problem. And I think did I say like $50 million being spent on a campaign?
Yeah.
Some egregious amount is being spent to make people aware of this.
Also, may I point out, have you seen much on this?
No.
$50 million, I feel, have just vanished into the air.
I've not seen. Okay, that's a lie. I have seen some people got a bright yellow, and this is why I think you haven't seen it. People got a bright yellow letter in the mail.
Right. Okay.
However, Canada Post is on strike. So double whammy here. And that's why we're doing this episode, is to remind you that every single year you have to declare if your home is vacant or not. And hopefully, when the postal worker strike is over, these bright yellow envelopes come in the mail.
Continue coming in the mail.
Yes. But to your point, there's no reason why there isn't more commercials being aired. There's no Google ads being displayed. I've not seen anything in that nature.
No. Seen or heard, I've got nothing. So far, I have not been, I essentially have not been informed.
Fair. Yeah. With aside from me being like, we need to do a podcast on it, there's not been much door knocking on Joey's door to be like, hey, vacant home tax. So we're at 2024 now.
Yeah.
We're back to us. This is us.
This is us.
Nobody wants this dropped on Netflix. My wife is obsessed with it. The Bills beat the Chiefs. Modern day, here we are. We're out of the time machine. I got a beard.
You got a beard?
I got a beard, yeah. I'm growing until the end of December.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's like a playoffs thing.
Sure. Yeah. I was like, I need to do something different with my life. Let's try a beard. I wanted to buy a bird, but I didn't know where to begin with that. And a bird seems like a long commitment. And I feel...
I can't believe you don't have a bird yet, to be honest with you.
I came close. This was the compromise. Adriana S., breaking news. We almost had a bird. But you got a beard instead. So we'll see how long this was. I tend to like get really annoyed and just shave it after like
a certain point,
the itchy point. Yeah. But my barber hooked me up with beard oil.
Oh, does that help the itchiness?
Yep.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I don't have like flakiness. My wife is always like beating my chest down like, clean yourself. But the beard oil has been great. I digress. 2024 is here. This is where we're at.
Yeah.
And there's a very big change that happens this year.
Yeah. So not only were they going to be promoting the fact that this thing is continuing and everybody needs to be declaring it, but they've done this gigantic change, which is they've increased the amount taxed from 1% to 3% of the assessed value.
Yes. So this is why this year is extra crucial that you do it and you do it correctly. Because if you do it wrong, you're going to get hit with a 3% of your assessed value as the tax you have to pay for this year. And that is a huge amount. Now, It's going to get spun. I already see this happening, that this is Olivia Chow's, and let me just say this. I've not been happy with the last year of Olivia Chow as mayor. I think nothing's improved. And that's a whole other episode that we'll get into.
Yeah.
However, Olivia Chow is not the reason why we're jumping from 1% to 3%. This was determined at the start of it. It was always meant to be 3% to have a very strong impact. But they wanted a 2-year rollout and to not hit people off the hop. So this was predetermined under the John Tory bad hair era. Okay, the Taylor Swift era. This is the John Tory bad hair era. So this 3% has nothing to do with Olivia Chow. However, she's the mayor. I see it happening. They're going to spin it on her like, in times of crisis, how dare you? Wasn't her. So let's just put that out there. And also not happy with her. So also want to put that out there.
Let's get this on the record.
Yeah. Now, here's what's going to happen. The city is going to charge you. Now, let's say you live in a simple math, $2 million house. That's not necessarily the assessed value of your house.
Yeah.
So maybe your house is only assessed at $1 million. That is what the 3% is going to be based on. Very important to note. Still a significant amount of money, but not what your fair market value is, only what your assessed value is.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you're wondering, well, how the heck do I figure that out? Well, your property tax bill, which is going to be a very pivotal part of this process, is going to tell you what your assessed value is.
Yes.
So if you feel like being a rebel and not paying this year and you're like, well, how much is this actually going to cost me? Take out your tax bill, look for the assessed amount, multiply that by 0.3, and that's what you're going to be hit with.
Yeah.
So if you're assessed at $1 million, you will have to pay the city an additional $30,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
To keep your home vacant.
To keep your home vacant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very safe. 0.03. 3%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said 0.3. It's
not,
not,
not 30. Yeah, sorry, 0.03. Yeah. Yeah, on your Apple calculator, just hit percent and then 3.
That's
and
it. Yeah.
Add the zeros. Yeah, sorry. Thank you for that.
It's a hefty fee if you want to be a rebel about it and mess with that. And then there's late fees that might get involved if you don't declare it and you haven't been vacant. Why play the game?
Yeah.
You're going to lose the game.
It's a world of pain that's coming your way if you decide to pay the tax. Yeah. And then, hey, if that's your decision, go for it. But we're going to get into it because it's quite substantial. Now, I want to throw a little bonus tip in there because I've been getting a lot of calls from clients who do not live in Toronto.
Right.
So in one sense, people have the fear of the city in them. But if you do not live in the city, this doesn't apply to you.
Yes.
So our Mississauga listeners, our Woodbridge listeners, our Ajax Pickering listeners, you could tune this out or just stay for the comedy.
Yeah.
But you do not have to file.
No, you're not a part of this.
Yeah.
This is not moved to you. I'm going to say yet.
Correct.
But you're okay right now.
Yeah.
Anybody only in the city of Toronto.
Yeah. If your postal code starts with the letter M, you live in the city of Toronto, and you will be responsible to fill out this vacant home tax declaration.
That's a good way to put it.
Thank you.
Nice and easy.
When your dad's been a mailman for 35 years, you learn a thing or two.
There you go.
So also, because we're going to get into like vacancy and what's deemed vacant. If you have a cottage up in Muskoka, this doesn't matter to you.
You're good.
You're fine.
Yeah.
So don't worry about any of that. It's only if your home is in the city of Toronto.
Yeah. Let's get into some good changes that have taken place.
The improvements to the program.
Yes, the
I like
improvements. To start, they've extended the declaration period. So originally, if I'm not mistaken, it was like, I think it was October it started, October or something along those lines, and it ended in February. So it was a short little period that you have to do this declaration. Now they've extended it from November out to April 30th.
Yeah.
So they've extended the time period to actually get your ducks in a row and figure things out.
Yeah.
Don't wait till the last minute. You're going to start hearing from us a lot sooner than that.
Yeah.
So if you see it, it takes like 2 seconds to do. Just go through with it, finish it off, and like forget about it.
Exactly. Get it done as early as you can. Oddly enough, Adriana S. looked at me last night when she was reading the show notes, and she's like, "Have you filled out your vacant?" I said, "I haven't." You might want to get on that. So when my wife is telling me we got to do it, you got to do it. So the portal is now open as of November 1st. So if you, after this episode, feel so inspired, get right in there and do it.
That's right. Yeah.
Speaking of inspiration, if you like this content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes. Yeah. That is something that we should be mentioning.
We should be. We usually do it at the beginning of the show, and I thought we'll squeeze it in the center of this one.
Yeah.
And it's working. We hit 1,200 subs on YouTube.
Breaking records.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Keep it
you.
up. Keep up the power.
Yeah.
So after this episode, fill out your vacant home tax and leave a comment.
Yeah.
On this podcast.
And go right to youtube.com.
Yeah. YouTube.com and make it happen.
Yeah.
But the portal's open, and one of the criticisms earlier was that, especially for some of the older multicultural clientele or people of the city, they couldn't There's a language barrier.
Yeah.
Well, now they have it open in over 180 different languages. You can get support by calling 311.
Yes, beautiful. So you can do this over the phone, and you can just call. You can call, and you're safe if you don't just speak English, or sorry, don't speak English.
If you don't speak English, yeah. And they've also tried to make it a lot more user friendly, where you can go into. There's several different locations where if you don't have a computer or access to it, you can go into the city run places and they'll help you fill it out.
Beautiful.
In front of them.
Yeah, love it. Email confirmations.
Yes.
They're being sent out.
Yes.
Please hold on to those email confirmations.
Print them out. They saved a lot of people money last year with the poor rollout of it because they were able to show the confirmation and be
done with it.
Yeah. So keep those confirmations. That's my point.
Okay.
Keep those confirmations.
Should we talk about who might be, who is exempt?
Not yet.
Okay.
Let's not go there yet.
Oh, we're not going there.
Let's not go there yet.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. Let's start with who has to fill out the vacant home tax.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a very simple test. If you own property in Toronto, you have to fill it out. Simple.
Yeah.
There's no like, if you own a property in this district, or if it's you own a property.
Yeah.
You have to fill it out.
Yeah. It's a good point. Actually, it's a good point. We're going over this now because nobody is exempt from doing this.
Yes. If you own a residential property, that might be the only caveat. If you own a residential property, you must fill this out. I don't care if you did it last year and the year before, you're going to do it this year and you're going to do it years to come.
Yeah.
Even if you have an exemption, as Joey alluded to, and we're going to get into the exemptions a little bit further down, you still have to fill it out or go through the process of filling it out, and then you could let them know about your exemption while you fill it out.
Right.
But just because you are exempt doesn't mean you don't have to fill it out.
Yeah.
So please, fill it out.
Fill it out.
Yes.
Fill it out, declare your exemption.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you live in it, you rent it, you Airbnb it, it's vacant, you still have to fill it out. You have multiple properties, you have to fill one out for each property.
Yeah. Love it.
And if you don't, they're going to deem it vacant and they're going to hit you with 3% this year.
Yeah.
So save yourself a heck of money.
Should we talk about, because I'm curious about this actually.
Yes.
Properties that are, call triplexes.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the idiosyncrasies in that.
Okay. So if at least one unit was occupied for 6 months or more, then you could indicate that it's been occupied.
Right.
It's not deemed vacant. So if you have 3 units and 2 are technically vacant, but 1 has been occupied for at least 6 months or more, that is deemed an occupied.
You're safe.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. So triplexers, duplexers, fourplexers.
All those plexers.
All the plexers.
Yes. As long as one of your entire building has been rented out for at least 6 months or more, it's deemed occupied.
You're safe. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But even if you don't live in that building and this is your investment property, you still have to fill it out.
Yeah.
For that. So I'm really repeating myself here because it's so crucial. And so to make your declaration, you're going to go to the city website. We're going to have links below in the episode notes. But what you're going to want to have with you is your tax bill.
Right.
And it's 21-digit assessment roll number on your tax bill is what's going to be needed to match up who you are with your property to do this declaration.
Right.
So the only thing you need to bring with you is your tax bill. Whether you go into the city in person or you do it online or you do it over the phone,
Yep.
Have that tax bill ready because that's where you're going to get your assessment number.
Love it.
Assessment roll number. Okay, so this is where I kind of had a hard time understanding the way this program is rolled out this year. What counts as vacant?
Mm-hmm.
So a property is considered vacant if it was unoccupied for more than 6 months during the previous year and it was not your principal resident.
That's a key piece.
The principal resident is where I kind of got caught up in this understanding of the program this year. And so we're going to kind of spend a little bit of time explaining the difference here. Mm-hmm. So if it's your principal residence, you could be gone for longer than 6 months of the year and it would still not be deemed vacant, but you still have to fill out the declaration.
Right. That's what I wanted to bring up. Again, this is an exemption, but it does not exempt you from doing the deed of declaring.
Correct. I like that. That's a very good way of putting it. So this is one of the exemptions. There's just about 5 others that we're going to get into in the next section, but having it your principal residence is one of the major exemptions.
Yes. So you can go to a warmer place.
Yes.
For more than 6 months.
Correct.
As long as this remains your principal residence.
Correct. And that is the caveat. For at least 6 months, that place had to be your principal residence. Mm-hmm. The 6 month timeline gets a little bit confusing because that's also what deems the place vacant or not, but this is completely separate. It just has to be your principal residence.
Yeah.
So if your principal residence is in Muskoka and you have a pied-à-terre in the city, you might want to swap that.
Right.
Or just be there for more than 6 months. But yeah, that's the key piece here is it your principal residence?
Right.
And if yes, you could be gone for more than 6 months and it's not deemed vacant.
Right.
So take the trips to Spain and Italy or Florida or wherever the heck you go. It's fine.
Yep.
But please still fill out the declaration.
Yes. Yeah. Again, this is an exemption on the tax itself, so you don't get hit.
That's right.
But you still have to go and fill out your declaration.
That's right. Now I want to talk about the 6 months of vacancy because I guess erroneously thought the 6 months had to be consecutive. So if it's vacant for 6 straight months, then it's deemed. No, that's not the case. It could be any form of 6 months throughout the year. Now, how the city's going to calculate 5 months and 2 weeks versus 6 months and a day, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not important. What's important, is that if it's 6 months throughout the entire year, then that's deemed vacant.
Right.
So be cautious with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Count your months if you're leaving it empty.
Yes, and it's so interesting because I did go a little bit deep into how they assess. There was some talk of them potentially looking at utility usage. That is not one of the ways they're going to be doing it this year. I don't think they have the system set up to properly document that.
Right.
But they will be asking neighbors. They have the right to go into your home and to see exactly what it looks like.
So funny how that's such an odd. They can do their due diligence if they want to.
Yes, the auditing structure is quite comprehensive, and there's a lot of ways for them to determine if it's been vacant or not. So
yeah, it's very interesting. So yeah, those. At least. My thinking is if it's empty or if it's been empty for a non-consecutive amount of time, it would be like you'd need to produce the leases to show which dates they were, because they're not your primary residence, so you wouldn't be personally living in there.
Correct.
So yeah, that's where the audit I guess would be make sense if they're getting some suspicion.
Yeah.
To do some deeper digging, because
absolutely.
Yeah, I can see where it'd be tough to prove a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Now this is where I find power. When you get that nosy neighbor who's like, haha, I know the house has been vacant. I'm going to rat you out. Well, there's exemptions. There's legitimate exemptions that the city has allowed for, and they're very practical reasons. I really like that thought's been put into this part of it because it does make good sense.
Yeah.
So the number one is medical care.
Yeah.
Even if your unit is rented out or you live in it or it's not your primary, if they receive long-term medical care and they're not in the unit and you can prove that with proper documentation, you're exempt from declaring it vacant.
Yes.
Makes good sense.
It's practical.
Yeah. The death of an owner. So if someone dies, you do have 3 consecutive years. You can't space them out or stack them. You have 3 consecutive years from when the death of the owner happened that you can deem the house occupied.
Right.
Which makes good sense.
Yes, you're likely going through mourning, and you need some time to figure.
And there's a lot of moving parts, and 3 years I think is a very generous and appropriate time. I'm going through that right now with a family home, and it's taken a heck of a long time to get us to where we are today.
Right.
So I do like that it's 3 years. I think it's very fair, and it's the right amount of time.
Yeah, makes sense.
Renovations.
Yes.
So if you're doing massive renovations, obviously you can't live in your house, so you don't have to deem it vacant. You could still declare it occupied, but you have to provide proof.
Yeah.
Yes. The city has to have permits pulled from you. It's not just like I'm fixing my deck in the back and the house is no. There's more to it than that. So tread carefully on that. And the city's website does a really good job. I'll link to it in the show notes of all the exemptions in more detail, but high level, that's one of them.
Yeah.
Legal issues, if there's any type of court orders preventing occupancy, domestic disputes, stuff of that nature, then you have a valid excuse. Make sure you have your receipts though, because they're going to want to see it.
Yeah. Keep proof of everything, I think, in general.
Yep.
Transfer of legal ownership.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So we deal with this a lot because we are in the transitional periods whenever we show up.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, that's a big piece of it. If it has been vacant, if your home has been vacant for more than 6 months and you're trying to sell that year, know that if you do end up selling, you're just exempt from this in general.
Correct.
So if you can get under the wire and close in December, we're coming close to that timeline now.
Yep.
And you know that your place has been vacant for 6 months plus. See if you can push for it because you can save yourself a nice little chunk.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that a little bit deeper in the next section. And then just the last exemption is what we alluded to is if it's your principal residence.
Right.
So principal residence houses, again, I think this is very fair. You can still go to Florida for your 7 months of the year if you so choose to, and you don't have to deem it vacant.
Yeah.
Which is good. I like that. It's very practically well laid out, I would say.
Yeah. They're just like not logical exemptions.
Yeah. So change of ownership is what you were speaking of. And I think this is very crucial. So buyers and sellers, depending on what side you're on, there's different things you have to look out for.
Yeah.
So what's important to note is that the vacancy stays with the house and does not follow the owner.
Yes.
So it's each property has to be declared.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're selling your house, it's crucial that you do it for the year that was. Now, if you're a buyer, you want to put something in the contract, and all of our offers contain this, that the seller is responsible for completing the vacant home tax declaration.
Right.
You want the seller to do that so it doesn't hit you next year when you take possession.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, a lot of lawyers that we've been working with have been really good of ensuring that that's been addressed and taken care of. And we also put in our contracts that we ask for proof of it, that we have the right to ask for proof if it comes down to it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a big thing. So it gets a little bit hairy towards the end of the year.
Yes.
So I want to just to make mention of this because once you've crossed over to January 1st, then technically speaking, only the seller would know what happened the year previously.
Right.
So if you're closing anywhere from January 1st to April 30th, you have to make sure that the seller has declared it. Like it's the seller's specific responsibility. But anytime before that, technically speaking, it could be either or. It could be either party that declares it. Now, it doesn't matter who declares it. It's exempt for the year that happens, that the closing actually officially takes place. So nobody's going to get hit with the tax on that year, but just be aware that if you're closing between January and April 30th, it is the seller's responsibility to take care of that tax. And again, the lawyers are doing a good job taking care of that. Clauses are put in place. Hopefully, I know we do to protect our purchasers that way.
Absolutely, yeah. So just if you are working with someone else, make sure you ask them about that. If you're in the purchase process, house, condo, triplex, whatever it is, any residential property, it's going to be affected by this. So ensure that your contracts are written to protect you. Otherwise, you're going to get a unpleasant tax bill next year. Because if no declaration is made for the property, it's deemed vacant.
Right. And who gets hit with the tax?
The buyer.
The buyer gets hit with the tax.
That's right.
The new owner who takes it over is now responsible.
Yep.
Because it follows the property, not the
Yep.
person.
And the home tax will form as a lien on the property, and the purchaser is responsible for the payment of that. So get on that. Be careful.
Yep.
Now, let's say you decide, you know what? I don't care. I just want my place vacant. It's my choice, my life, my whatever you want to call it. That's fine. You're going to have to make 3 installments in September, October, and November to pay that 3% of your assessed value.
Yeah.
And they're very serious about it. So if you're late, they're going to hit you with a ton of extra charges and late fees and interest and all that fun stuff. So if you're preparing to take that path, plan accordingly.
Yeah. That's a rough one.
Yeah.
But it's there and you do have the right to just leave it vacant.
Yeah. If you could afford it and you choose to do it that way, by all means, go nuts.
Yeah.
Now, if you lie,
you
still have to pay the tax, and they're going to sprinkle on a max fine of up to $10,000.
Yeah. On top.
Yes. So if you think of outsmarting the city and their ways, just tread carefully.
Tread carefully. You got auditors who are going to be knocking on neighbors' doors.
Yes.
And looking out for
snitch line.
Yeah.
Snitch line will be open, so be careful. I think that's a pretty good synopsis of what's coming and what you need to be aware of.
Yeah. A re-explanation of what it was and all the new stuff that took place.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a high-level overview?
Yeah, let's kind of wrap it up with a quick summary. So everyone and anyone who owns a property in Toronto, keep that in mind, must fill out the declaration.
Yes.
You have from now until April 30th to submit that declaration.
Yep.
It can be done in person, it can be done online, and can even be done over the phone by calling
311.
311. 3 simple digits will get you
get it done. Yeah.
Get it done. Your principal home is exempt even if you're gone for more than 6 months, but must still be filled out.
It needs to still be done.
Please do it. They are increasing the tax from
1% to 3%.
And this was predetermined, so don't go blaming Mayor Chow on this. There's a whole other things you can blame her for. This ain't one of them.
And can I shout out a very good blog that you had put up recently?
Please.
Because if you're looking just for, if you don't feel like listening to 45 minutes of this, although we hope you do, and if you've made it this far, you have. So
yes. Please subscribe, like, and listen.
Yes, please subscribe, like, and listen. But if you just wanted a good, clean recap on everything, Mark put it a really, really just dialed in blog. That's just, it's very easy to read.
Yeah.
Checkpoints and no nonsense.
I've even got an FAQ up there from some questions we've had over the years. So we'll link it down below as well. Thank you for that plug. I put a lot of work and effort into that blog post, and this is kind of the crux of this episode. But yeah, there's a really good high level summary. And if still you have questions, we're available.
100%.
Reach out. We'll put you in touch with the right people or point you in the right direction. But please Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Yes. Like that. Okay. Any shout outs?
Shoutouts Burger Drops.
Shout out Burger Drops.
Yeah. Shout out to Molly C for not letting me have 2 burgers because I was warned very sternly that it's a bad idea, and I listened, and you know what? I'm happy I did.
Yeah. Hey, shout out us. We went to the Outline Christmas party this week.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So first shout out Outline Mortgages.
Yep. Jason
Friesen, good friend of ours, invited us out. We had a fantastic time. It's a whole good crew of people. But shout out us for looking for bad food after the Christmas party and not finding it oddly anywhere. Spadina was like a ghost town.
Yeah, yeah.
We walked on Queen West and we found a pizza.
Yeah.
And shout out us for being like, you know what? This doesn't look good.
We actually walked right in.
We walked in.
We looked at the pizza for about 10 seconds and then we looked at each other and we said, let's leave.
Yeah, our body's a temple. We're not going to do it. And we walked out. So shout out us for having some
good willpower.
Yeah, I like that. But it was a great party, great people.
Yeah.
Good connecting with everyone. I want to shout out Buffalo.
Yeah.
All of Buffalo.
Yep.
Such nice people, such friendly people. I want to shout out Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's?
Yeah, we got some great spices.
Love it.
When we came across the border patrol officers like, did you purchase anything? I'm like, yeah, spices. And she's like, what? What do you mean spices? I'm like, my wife likes Trader Joe's. She's like, just go. You don't have to declare that. Just go. So that was great. So shout out the lovely lady who let us go with the Border Patrol.
Love it.
Shout out Trader Joe's. Shout out Barbell North. Shout out La Nova Pizza. Shout out Sandwich. Again.
Yeah. Did you go again?
Yes.
Okay.
I tried the beef.
Oh.
Dude.
Which beef is it?
Beef Barocca.
Yeah. That's their like, well, he told me that was their like signature one.
I think I've had so many chicken sandwiches I needed to switch it up. Yeah. The beef Barocca, if I'm saying it right even, fantastic. Try the beef.
Got it.
Oh my God.
Next time I'm there, absolutely.
Try it. So tender, so juicy, so good. So shout out Sandwich.
Love it.
Yeah. And listeners of the show, I'm going to talk about where we ate last night next week because I don't want to get too foodie in this one. But Adam and Kinda, we went out with them last night. I'll tell you next week where we ate. And Kinda was asking us about Sandwich. And she's like, is it worth the hype? I'm like, it's so worth the hype. So they might be there as we're podcasting now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told them to go there. It's that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try that sauce. Sauce.
Okay. So with the beef, don't try the sauce.
That makes sense.
Yeah. The beef is its own flavor town. I wouldn't
mess with it.
Yeah. It's really good. But if you want the heat, try the sauce.
The heat is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one last thing.
Yeah.
3 of our purchasers at the church moved in this week.
That's right.
We had our first set of move-ins. Shout out to them. They've been incredibly patient and so understanding of all the moving parts. And it's been a really good experience of just meeting them.
Yep.
And seeing what's been happening. And so thank you to them for the patience.
And congratulations.
Yeah. It's awesome. Cool. Well, that's episode 74.
That's right.
Like, comment, listen, subscribe.
Yeah.
I want to fight Jake Paul.
Oh, we're getting to that. I did watch that.
Yeah, that was sad.
It was a weird one.
It was a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting all the conspiracy posts.
Oh, Tyson held back.
Yeah.
100%.
I think so too.
Yeah. There's a random TikTok post that said like if Tyson knocked out Jake Paul in the first round, he would receive very little money.
Right.
And so to get the whole 20 mil, he had to last 8 rounds.
Right. That's what I've been hearing about.
Yeah.
But did you see the girls fight?
Fantastic.
Oh my God.
Fantastic.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So much intensity. And so like nobody likes Jake Paul for good reason. But I will say this, the ladies fight, they got paid very fairly.
Nice.
Like, whereas most times they wouldn't have been compensated as well as they did. So
they deserve every penny of that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That was a battle royale.
That was insanity.
Yeah. Even the 2 guys before them was a very good fight.
The one I missed, I actually was in the midst of cooking.
Oh, with your new pan?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Got some steaks from the keg.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy. You're going to like where I ate last night. There's a lot of meat involved in next week's episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't say anything.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Toronto Livings Real Estate Podcast. You could find more information on how we work over at torontolivings.com. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter to get price reports from over 150 different neighborhoods in the city each and every month.
If you got any value, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And if you made it this far, thanks for listening.